right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with Morning Live. Now, to mark Women's Month and to empower women in the country, a Divine Feminine Conference was held at the Sandton Convention Centre in Johannesburg. It started on Wednesday. This conference is aimed at igniting transformation in both the women and men, and also to better their understanding of one another. Through a series of events, international speakers also took part in the conference. Now, wrapping up the event, there is a free concert that will take place tomorrow on Saturday that is titled A New Thought Celebration, and it will take place at Regina Mundi this weekend. That is where performers such as Lira and Sipho Hotstix Mabuse will be performing. Joining us now is Muzi Cindi, who's the conference organizer, and from our studios in Cape Town, as we said earlier on, we're joined by Sipho Hotstix Mabuse. Good morning to both of you gentlemen, and thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning, Palisa.
Good morning, Palisa. Good morning to Leanne and all the team, and good morning to all the women of South Africa.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bra Hotstix. Let's start with you, Bra Muzi. The conference on its own, I know you had a similar one or the same one back in 2014, but you didn't for the next 2 years until this year. Let's talk about how it was conceptualized.
Yeah, basically it was conceptualized out of an epiphany that I had in 2007 in August. Out of that epiphany, and in 2014 I decided to start to birth it basically for women, because I discovered that I realized that the whole universe is shifting now from a patriarchal energy into a feminine energy. And this is why in 2014 I organized that for women, where we had 3,500 women coming to the Birchwood Conference Centre. And funny enough, that same week when it was birthing, my mother passed on. Oh. And I saw the very same day when they arrived, our guest speakers, Bishop Carlton Pearson and his wife, as they landed at the airport, my mother passed on. Yeah. And I didn't see that as strange. I didn't see that as a coincidence, because I understand coincidences are two incidences that I'm measuring together. And I saw that as a sign from the universe that I was doing the right thing. And I saw my mother as one who was becoming an ascended master who's helping me to birth the feminine energy to the whole universe.
Yeah, but you took a 2-year break.
I took a 2-year break because I wanted to do more studies. I wanted to go into depth research so that I can understand what I'm doing. You know, my mentor, Wayne Dyer, used to say that the highest form of ignorance is rejecting something that you don't know anything about. I wanted to fill myself with knowledge so that I can take it forward. This is why this year I decided to take it, and next year we're continuing again. All
right, just before we talk about your research and your findings thereof, let me just bring Bra Sipho into the conversation. Bra Sipho, talk to us about the reasons as to why you decided to take part in this conference.
Well, as a father to two daughters, as a man who believes that women are the power and the strength of any society or any nation, I felt for me it was important to take part in this. And of course I could not refuse the offer to come and perform at the New Thought Celebration concert.
Yeah, and as you say, as someone who believes so much in women and their strength, of course, in the society, let's talk about the recent spate of abuse, killings on women that we have seen here in South Africa. What do you think should be done as a father, as a husband? Where do we even start to educate the society?
Well, excuse me, we as men need to begin to look at ourselves and what our role is in society. How do we change our own perspective in how we relate to the women folk? And it's very important that we speak continuously about these things, because if we don't, then we find ourselves being as ignorant as Muzi was saying, you know, because we don't even know the persons that we're supposed to be dealing with and how we should be relating ourselves to their own space and how we give off from what they give.
I see you agreeing with Bra Hotstix that it starts with looking into yourself.
No, definitely. It starts within, because we as human beings, we now understand that we are born out of stillness. And that stillness is always with us. that stillness never leaves us. So this is why in all religious traditions, they emphasize being still, because they say when you become still, when you meditate, there's another energy, there's another intelligence that you access, and that is the intelligence and the energy that will transform our world.
Yeah. Let's talk about the topics that we discussed at the conference when it started on Wednesday.
Oh, we had wonderful speakers. We had Dr. Michael Beckwith, who comes from Agape Spiritual Center in California. He is one of the greatest thought leaders in the universe. He's the one who's associated with the likes of Mahatma Gandhi, associated with the likes of the Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu. So this is the energy that we are spreading all over the world. He's a great friend to Oprah Winfrey, and is also associated with the Secret movie. So he was the one who gave a powerful message on Wednesday. And then after that, we had Bishop Carlton Pearson, who spoke on expanded consciousness, the consciousness that is now spreading all over the world. And we close the event with our goddess Lira, goddess Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols gave a very, very powerful message, which we are going to put into DVD and spread to all men and women that they have to listen, so that they can see the transformation that is happening within themselves.
All right, and the response that you got from the people who attended?
Oh, the response is fascinating. I'm getting messages every day, hundreds of them.
But what are they saying? Are they appreciative of what they heard?
Yes, people are talking about the transformation. People are talking about how the event has transformed their lives. This is the reason why we're here today, because this thing is spreading like wildfire all over the country. People, even those people who were not there, they're being checked. And as this event was happening, many people were using their cell phones to spread the message alive. And those who were at work, those who were at home, were able to see snippets of what was happening at Sandton Convention Centre.
And you were telling me earlier on that you're going bigger next year. But just before you tell us about your plans for next year, Bra Hotstix, what would you like people to take away from the conference on its own, as well as, of course, your performance tomorrow?
Well, I think people should take their consciousness and the importance of understanding how and why this is necessary, that we interact with ourselves, especially the men. You know, when they come there, they need to understand what value we should bring to our women folk, because besides that, if we cannot do that, we are going to remain a doomed society, because they say, you know, a society that does not respect and love its children is a society that is doomed to fail forever. So we want people to come and celebrate with us the conference, and ensuring that the Youth Thought celebration is something that they take with forever, and also spread the message around in their own little communities.
All right, so you want them to burn out negative energy tomorrow.
And they must come and Shigisha too.
All right. So next year, you are telling me that you're bringing Oprah and many other international speakers. Do you believe in international speakers?
Yes. Next year we're going big. And also, actually, we had a dinner with Dr. Michael Beckwith and Bishop Carlton Pearson last night. And I was actually explaining to them that, you know, my life, all of my life, I've received what I call indoctrination from America.
Oh.
So all of my life, for 45 years, my life was indoctrinated by teachings from America. They put some poison into my system.
All right. So your belief is much more from that side.
Yes, but now I believe that is very important, that those Americans who put poison into my system,
so they must come poison us as well.
I say, Americans, come back and remove this poison from my system. So this is why I always, people ask, why are I always inviting Americans?
Yeah.
I said, no, Americans poisoned me.
Yeah.
So Americans must come and
doesn't it create
penitence.
an impression maybe that you believe much more in American people instead of your own good people that are here in South Africa?
No. We had more than five speakers actually from South Africa. We had about 3 women. We had 4 women who were supposed to speak from South Africa. The other one couldn't make it. But I mean, we're using our own South Africans who are telling their own stories. We had even our own joyous celebration on Wednesday, who was singing and doing performance.
All right. So, Bra Hotstix, it looks like the poison would be removed from us, by the Americans.
it would be removed by music if we...
Yeah, all right. So,
I love the word poison.
Indeed. So now let's talk about tomorrow. You said it's a free event, open for everyone to come join in.
Yeah, but the venue is very small. As we are saying, we are only going to Regina Mundi, and we are limited to about 2,000 people. And so people cannot just walk in. No walk-ins are allowed. People can go to Muzi Cindi events, muzicindievents.co.za, and then they'll get all the information on how they can register and on how they can get free tickets. They can also go to CompuTicket and go and get themselves a free ticket. But they can, just by going to Muzi Cindi events, they'll get all the information that they need to get free tickets.
All right. Now, let's leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for talking to us, Muzi Cindi.
Okay, I was just saying next day we're bringing Oprah and Lira and Lisa Nichols.
To two different venues.
Yes, we are to the Dome and to ICC Cape Town, ICC Durban, and we're bringing India area as well.
All right.
Yes.
Now, we'll leave it at that for this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
Thank
indeed to Muzi Cindi. Hotstix from our studios in Parliament. Thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and keep warm. Well, let's take a break here on Morning Live.